Okay, so who am I and why the hell should you care? So I'm a Canadian travel blogger, freelance writer, podcaster, photographer, a whole bunch of other titles if you want. I run my site and social media for travelingmitch.com. If you're wondering why it's 1L, it's a lot to do with a lot of alcohol in one night in Norway. And it's just, it got big enough and I was like, all right, well, it works in the US when I'm working there, so whatever. Education, I was teaching around the world for a good time. I've been doing this, running my brand Traveling Mitch for the last year and a half, but before that I was teaching international schools around the world. I got my master's in education, a few other degrees, so if I fail to speak to you right now and communicate, then blame all the schools I attended. I'm the founder of the Toronto Bloggers Collective. We have about 220 members. It's about supporting local content creators and propping people up. We have regular events. If anyone here is into content creation, which I'm guessing you all are, the Toronto Bloggers Collective can be something to really check out. But like, I'm not here to promote my own stuff, so this is the only slide where I'm going to be self-indulgent, and then I'll move on. I also run a podcast called Rick Steves Over Brunch, which is like hyper niche, and it's just literally my friend and I are into travel. We're doing episodes of Rick Steves Europe and talking about travel. Worked with a whole bunch of grants, tours, and awards. Got a few awards along the way, keeping up with trends in social media for 10 years, and I'm not totally crazy yet, so that's encouraging. So that's me. So if you have questions throughout, go for it. So I promise you this is the only slide about me. Okay, so this is what I'm hoping to cover today. Again, this is a presentation I normally do upwards of a half day with a lot of breakouts and stuff like that. But I'm going to try and deliver you information and try and keep it not boring, but I also want to deliver those points for you guys. So here's what I'm going to cover for you today. Why social media I think is still important, even though it's no less confusing. The rise of Instagram and a little bit of the fall of Instagram, but you still got to play that game a little bit. How to use a Facebook page, what Facebook page is responding to the algorithm level, how to actually, Facebook is doing its best to make it a pay-to-play model, and how can you get around that a little bit. And then looking at Twitter, which I still like, which is more like I say for some of the other platforms, even though I use them. So just some ways to think about taking your social media presence to the next level, how you can build some social media around your podcast, how you can sort of get a little bit of following, get a little bit of traction. And then questions. If you think of any questions, write them down, or just put your hand up. Really, happy to make this kind of back and forth. As I said, I kind of like pared down this presentation a bit with the idea that people would ask questions, but it's really up to you how you want it to go. Again, I know it's the last session of the day, so I want to make sure it's not like, just feel free to make this back and forth. Okay, as I said, think about what you want to get out of this today. If there's anything in particular you want to learn, I guess I'll just ask, is there anything in particular you guys are really keen to learn in relation to social media? Yeah?
Paying Facebook to boost your posts?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. I can talk about that a little bit now if you'd like, but just to answer that super quickly, it certainly can be. It depends what you're promoting. If you're promoting an ebook which has a price tag attached to it, and you can get a certain amount of eyes on that ebook, if people are going to buy more ebooks than whatever you put into it, plus you're getting some cachet out of it, then it can be definitely worth it. Yes and no. I've seen a lot of results from that, but they keep upping the price. It also depends on your audience, right? Like on Facebook, the best part about advertising on a Facebook page is that you can really attack segments. So I can say I really want to attack, or attacking on this. I really want to get in front of 20 to 30-year-olds in Toronto who love sports. I can do that with Facebook, but I'm going to pay for it. But that's very valuable. It's a lot more than I can do with Twitter. So it just depends on what you're looking to do. If you have a hyper niche market, then Facebook advertising can be really lucrative and worth your time. Yeah?
For the same process, right? Same here. But I want to hack it. I'm cheap. I don't want to pay.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that too.
Managing content calendars and scheduling posts.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure as well. Remind me, if we don't touch on it too much, you can just remind me at the end and we can go over that. Yeah.
It might be a little beyond the scope of like social media specifically.
Sure.
There's always, if you're going to pay at all to get yourself in front of people, so
Yeah.
like paying on social versus paying on Google or something like that for more formal online media ad placements versus the social media.
Yeah, well, the two are sort of melting together a little bit in a way as well. So we can talk about, SEO is like I'm not talking about this, I'm presenting with SEO for something else in a couple weeks, but that's my bread and butter, so we can talk about that after if you want as well. Yeah.
Building followers and sponsorship.
Yeah, that's my wheelhouse as well. That's what I do a lot of my income comes from sponsorship. But like, not in sketchy ways. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about this as well. Again, like if these are, like it's just, I'm looking for you guys to plant some seeds. I can elaborate on certain things throughout the presentation, but I'm also the last session of the day, so like if this is useful for you and half the room and walk out, then we can talk a little bit more about these things afterwards. Because I'm guessing one person here has that question, and they're not going to be the only one who has that question. So these are for sure things I'm going to talk about. I'll just have a few more seeds planted, and then we'll get started.
The different kinds of audiences that use the different platforms, we're trying to decide whether or not to have a presence on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so what kind of audience would we attract if we were there? Who are we pissing away if we're not?
Yeah. I mean, just generally speaking, Instagram is going to be on the younger side of things. Typically it's like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Twitter being the oldest, but the thing is, it just depends on what you're promoting. Like, you can, as I said, you can find a young audience on Instagram if you're using the appropriate hashtags and linking up with the right brands to align with you. But we can talk about that generally for sure. Yeah. Anyone else want to get started?
I think monetizing social media, blogs, podcasts, all the rest. I remember was traveling Mitch.com and you just kind of like, oh, around this making his living doing that, or you making your living consulting on how to do this.
Yeah, so I make my living off of my website, affiliate sales, sponsorships, plus all the social media, the brand around that, but also speaking, consulting, and that kind of stuff. The consulting I do though is just when businesses reach out to me and I'll go in and run a workshop for a half day, but I'm into the idea of sharing the wealth, which is why I'm here to do it for just to meet some new people and share those ideas. I think that's really valuable. Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking to see how I can advertise on the podcast for anyone that's trying to get in.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see how I can get in there.
Yeah, me too. I think Patreon's the only model left for you. I'm going to get started and then we'll just write down the questions you guys have and we'll get to the end. Let's just see what I miss and then we can go from there. Cool? All right, social media relevance. Realities of social media. People are lazy. Social media is an easy access point. It's just true. The average attention span of a human is now literally less than a goldfish. Goldfish 9.2, humans 8.8. So there you go. You got to hit that. I was going to say though, podcasting is kind of reversing that trend a little bit, right? Because where else are you getting some of the attention span for half an hour, which is a beautiful thing. I'm obviously here for a reason. I love podcasts. I'm subscribed to too many. It's like alarming. But having a strong, polished social media presence can make a big difference to your podcast or your brand or whatever. It's an avenue for interaction. At the very least, some people who would never email you would shoot you a DM on Instagram and just open up a door, right? So that can be really useful. Today's world is becoming a necessity, but it's not easy, nor as fun as it used to be. Organic growth is not really happening unless you're really striking for it. It can happen in ways like, the thing is that if you have a podcast and you have 200 followers who really engage with your stuff, it's a lot better than someone with 60,000 who bought them and they have 2 comments and 7 likes. You might have the same amount, right? It's the name of the game is engagement now, right? So there's a lot of people who call themselves influencers. If you have 200 followers who actually give shit about what you're talking about, you have influence, you know. What?
I feel so good now. I'm an influencer.
Yeah, there you go, right? We can all be influencers. I always joke, I was like, someone who drives past me and sprays snow, they're an influencer. They influence my life. You know what I mean? Okay, so social media overview and growth. So over 3 billion active social media users. People on average have 5.4 accounts per person and spend an average of 116 minutes per day. These are more North American numbers I'm looking at, but that's what's possibly relevant for you guys. Social media users grew by 121 million between the second quarter of 2017 and the third quarter of 2017. A new social media user every 15 seconds. Your podcast or brand can and should be tapping into that growth. Remember, 100 followers is still better than 0. It doesn't hurt to have somewhere, even if you have a camp. A lot of people are, as I said, are lazy and they're going to look to reach out to you and they're going to go to your Instagram page, and if it doesn't exist, then again, on to the next thing, goldfish syndrome, right? So you want to make sure you can capitalize on those moments.
Is it really 5.5 accounts per person?
Yeah, 5.54 accounts.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Right, but then you have to account for all the people that have like 17 accounts on God knows what, like Perlu and a billion other things. It's shocking. I mean, I stick to a few of them, but like I've seen people like they're more their accounts on their phone than they are in person anymore. Which is all kinds of alarming, but I guess I'm trying to buck the trend, but also be a part of it. Let's talk Instagram first. I think that's what people like to talk about. All right, good Instagram photo this is a photo of mine I took when I was working with Intrepid Travel in Nepal and India. A good Instagram photo is bright, colorful, it's on brand. That means you gotta figure out what your brand is, right? Like you can tie that into your podcast. What are you trying to convey about yourself? Every time you post something, it's an opportunity to show what your brand is. Every single time, you know? So figure out what your brand message is. If you're like, hey, it's so fun to be here, like, I don't know, you gotta have some directive. You gotta be like, if you're recording about, like, take my podcast for example, which is like, I don't know, bizarre and niche, but this show, if I'm in a certain place, I'm gonna be like, hey, it's so great to be here, where Rick recorded this episode, you know, blah, 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 and tie that back into my podcast. But have some directive in it. You should make a statement or ask a question. I always ask a question. Sometimes people answer, sometimes they don't. But most of them do. I think you want to add some value if people look at your feed and they're like, so what? Like, yeah, great, you're eating cookies. Like, that's bravo, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be offering something back to people. So in this sense, I kind of, at that time, was just kind of structuring it in blocks. I said, you know, in strange senses, like my favorite photo from Kathmandu, I love the dichotomy between this monkey who's clearly pensive and deep inside atop a statue, but who also happens to be holding a biscuit. So it's like this moment where people are like, oh yeah, like this is, I don't know, observing something. This is kind of cool to be on there. I love photography. I think we do a lot of things to capture these moments. Have you guys been to Kathmandu or Nepal before? What do you think? It's quick, it's easy. I'm asking people to do something. For your podcast, think about, take a picture, get a good quality camera or use your smartphone, take a picture. Like, I was recording this topic today, how do you feel about it? Whatever it is. Just make sure you have something other than, this is me doing this, isn't that great? Okay, this is something I honestly, you can use a lot of different tools. I just put this in here because of the times I've presented, the most feedback I've gotten for anything I've said is people coming back to me and being like, Chris, I freaking love this. Like, thank you so much for showing this. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you, but you may as well take down the name. So, this is an app called Snapseed. Google bought it a while ago. Basically, social media loves colorful stuff. People like to click on colorful stuff. There's no room for the dull moments. Snapseed is a good way to take images which aren't bursting with color and to make them all kinds of colorful. It's a free app, costs you nothing. You can, even if you want to, you can source photos from things like Pixabay or Unsplash, which are full for Creative Commons, or which are free in terms of Creative Commons. Pixabay especially, you don't even have to give it an attribute. Like my title page, I just sniped that beautiful photo with a microphone, and you all thought I was all kinds of professional. So be creative with this. If you find it overwhelming, you go right here, go to books. There's like a whole bunch of, I have another slide which I'll just tell you about in a second, but like from this, which is up my, up north a little bit, to this in like, what, 30 seconds. When I post it online, people are going to respond a lot more to this than this. They just will. That's the way it works. I'll just go for like a quick second here and just talk about what I usually use on stuff like this. I go to looks and I use things, if you want to check this out, I'm not going to go too in deep because if you guys don't care about Snapseed, that's all good. But I usually go to looks and I use something like pop or accentuate. It's going to make it a little bit bolder. It's going to make it a little bit brighter. If you have that app, if you're playing with it at all now, which is cool, go ahead. You can also tune an image and auto enhance it. HDR state, all those images you see in travel where it's like the most absurdly like deep, colorful, booming photo, they're using probably something on Lightroom, which is what I use when I'm editing a lot of my photos, but if I want to go, I use Snapseed. HDR scape is like something which is just going to make those photos, it's going to make them burst at the seams with color, and And just kind of like this, again, this is okay, it's fine, it's a lake, great, but we're gonna make sure that it's a little bit brighter, a little bit poppier. Again, keep in mind that people are scrolling through stuff. They're scrolling. You need to be competing with all the other colorful shit that's on Instagram, you know? People need to stop for a second, just a second, and go, oh, whoa, Traveling Mitch, who's this guy? What's this photo? I don't even remember following him, but maybe I'll check out his website, maybe I'll buy his ebook, and maybe I'll do all this stuff, and check out his podcast, and use booking.com to book hotels through his website, and go on Amazon and buy all his products, and he's just so great. And I'm like, all right, thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Now, see? So that's it. Play around with it. This is an app you want to play around with it. Like I had friends, I had one, I guess Friday was at a woman at a company who was like, I'm loving Snapseed. I looked at her photos and we were like, whoa, like the photos were like all like everyone's face was like orange, you know, and I was like, calm down there, you know. But you can definitely use it for some good stuff. All right, how do you use hashtags? So we'll look at two methods that make hashtags less horrible and mysterious. The thing about hashtags now, I mean, everything's always changing, right? When I initially made this presentation a couple months ago, since then, the algorithm shifted a bit to make hashtags a little bit less valuable. If you have a business account on Instagram, you can see in the back-end analytics that how many, they just added about, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago, they just added something in the back-end where you can look at how many people are, how much of your reach is coming from the hashtags that you're using. And typically, if I had, let's say, 5,000 reach on a photo, something like 350 or 400 is only coming from hashtags. So don't stress too much about it, but at the same time, too, I'd rather have 400 extra eyes on my stuff. So keep that in mind. All that to say, like, hashtags used to be kind of a be-all, end-all sort of thing on Instagram. It's not the case anymore. But it's still, I still do it. I'm experimenting with it as we speak, but for now, I still believe in this model. All right, so why do we use hashtags? Yeah, what's up?
Do you know if there's any link between the hashtags you use and the explore pages you get featured on? Because people that will see your stuff on their explore page.
So Instagram won't tell you that deliberately, or they won't tell you that openly, but there's got to be some correlation there, right? But I think the thing is, if you're, like if I'm constantly using the hashtag Ontario for Ontario, like Ontario travel or whatever, and eventually Instagram's got to be somewhat intuitive in thinking, I have to link those things. I couldn't say with 100% certainty, but it's not going to hurt you, right? So, yeah.
If you have a podcast and you want people to listen everywhere, should you be using any location tagging?
100%.
And so, if people are listening in Florida, not just Toronto, what would you tag the location?
I would switch it up. I would honestly tag all of my stuff in Toronto, and then once in a while I'd post like a picture from Pixabay from Florida and be like, it is cold as hell in Toronto right now. I'm jealous of all my Florida readers. It looks beautiful down there. I'm excited to get down there. Hey, where would you guys go if we were in Florida right now? Maybe people in Florida would be like, hey, wicked, thanks for the shout out. You gotta make it down to Fort Lauderdale. It's wicked down here. And you'd be like, yeah, that's really where I want to be, but stuck in Toronto for the time being.
So if yours is based on traveling in different locations,
Yeah.
what if it's a podcast that's not that? I mean, I guess.
I would still always geotag, because even if you're geotagging Toronto every single time, it's still better than not. Because there's no harm in it. There's no harm. You're not going to get boxed in by geotagging. It's only going to do you good, for the most part. I don't know. She's in social media a little bit with it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mix it up.
Yeah. I mix up locations I always mix up locations because all my stuff's travel, but I don't know.
That's it.
I haven't experimented with, like the thing is that like, if I'm in Toronto, I'm geotagging like different cafes and different sites and different stuff I'm doing, right? So like if you're posting from the same location every time, then you got more problems in geotagging, right? Because like it's always your office or whatever. Like I think, like I guess you could do Toronto, but like if I always post from the same cafe, I think it'd be like, people would be like, why am I even following it? Yeah, I'll keep talking about this, then we can swing back around before I finish the Instagram stuff. Okay, so hashtags are one method to get seen, to organize content. You can use up to 30 on each post. I don't know, I played around with this. I did use 30 for a period of time, I'll tell you that method, and now I kind of just use whatever makes sense. Do whatever, and I'm testing it. I'm doing a lot of like A/B testing right now. I can't say for certain what matters. I don't think it hurts to use 30. think it hurts to use 15. I'd use a few. Just try it out yourself. Use 5, use 10, use 15, use 20, use 25, use 30, and see what the heck makes sense for you. Yeah.
Is there something to be said about like space between the hashtags? And also, do you keep it in the caption or should you add comment with your hashtags?
I don't put my captions, like I used to put my caption, or I used to put my hashtags in the first comment. I don't do that anymore. I knew from a friend or somebody basically told me like that their Instagram doesn't want to see that anymore. So what I do, if you look back here at this, I literally do like 1 paragraph, 3 dots, 1 paragraph, 2 dots, 1 paragraph, and if you look down here further, there'd be 3 more dots and then 25 hashtags. And that's the way I started. People look at your photo mostly anyways. For the most part, I'm banking on people looking at this question and being like, oh, I'm gonna answer it. Who cares what his hashtags are?
I have what might be a slightly silly question about the dots, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they work, sometimes
So
Instagram puts them all like
you'll see if I want-
each other.
Yeah, you'll see if I want to have 3 there, so I actually put 4. I actually have 4 space. I put plus, space, 1, 2, 3, and that's how I get the 3. I'm putting 4. It always.
It seems like every few weeks,
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing, Instagram changes it on me.
Oh yeah, that's the real fun of it all. I like partially hate Instagram, but I know about it, so we can talk about it. Yeah, Instagram likes to like mess with its users, and they're like, I don't know, ever since Zuckerberg got in there, what a piece of shit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, by the way. I like Zuck.
I have read a lot about shadow banning and as a result have tried to diversify my hashtags.
You should.
Have you experienced shadow banning? Because people say it's not real.
Yeah, so yes and no. I've heard both sides of it. I would never hesitate to use the same hashtags that are relevant to me. In Toronto, I'll probably use a couple of the same ones every time, just by nature of what I'm posting about if I'm in Toronto. But I definitely would not have 30 hashtags in a note on my phone, which I copied and then pasted onto there.
But do you think it's okay, because like obviously we have a hashtag for the podcast, to continually use that hashtag?
Yeah, for sure, because there's some brands which are going to be using the same podcast, that's literally your moniker, that's how people are engaging with you. I wouldn't worry about using the same, if you're using the same 30 every time you're in trouble, if you're using the same 8 in a mixture of 20 that are different, I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you in trouble with using the same?
Just because Instagram likes to make your life hard. But really, Instagram doesn't want you to try to corner a market by using the same 30 hashtags every single time, because then they have to, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Well, it might think you're a bot if they see you're using the exact same hashtags every time. So that's why I would always mix it up a little.
Yeah, for sure, always mix it up a little. And also out of respect for your audience as well, like I feel like Instagram doesn't take that long in the first place to post something, so take a moment and try and hit it. Like, it's never gonna hurt you. Wherever I'm posting about, there's something I can change a little bit, you know, instead of using Travel Ontario, I'll use Ontario Travel next time. Instead of using Explore Canada, I'll use, probably Canada Explore is not an example, but you know, something like that. You can check, Instagram literally embedded in the app now, you can literally see how much each value for each hashtag, so I'll talk about that now actually. This is something I did for a period of time. I don't know if it's as valuable as it once was. It's just a strategy I had that worked. And now that they've changed the algorithm, I don't know if it works as well, but I still think it makes some sense. So what I was doing and what I found really worked was I separated my hashtags into 3 segments. I included as many hashtags as reasonable. Doesn't mean it has to be 30. Maybe you want to start with 5 from each category, but it just helped me attack different markets. So I always did 1/3 of my hashtags that were large in general. So again, I'm in travel, so I would use Travel Canada, Explore Canada. 1/3 of my hashtags were more medium size and somewhat specific, stuff like Canada's World, Yours to Discover, Ontario Travel. And then 1/3 of my hashtags were like really niche, Ontario Canada, Forest Captures, Ontario Nature, stuff like that. So I would think about whatever hashtag you're using. Don't just use like travel, hello, love, happy, fun. Like, you're never gonna rank and get on anything. If you know how hashtags work, your people are engaging with hashtags to get a look on a board, essentially. When you hit a hashtag, you're looking at a certain number of posts. And you are never going to get on hashtag travel, but you might get on the top of Ontario nature. You know, so whatever that is, keep in mind I'm talking about travel because that's what I know, but it's applicable to everything you're doing. Your podcast is about a topic, and those topics will be segmented via hashtags in large, medium, and small chunks. Again, I don't know, this isn't a science, it's something I've done that's worked for me. Hashtags are probably less valuable than ever, but I just like having a strategy when I'm doing stuff. It just makes me feel better than being like, I don't know. Again, it's one of these things where if I had all the keys to Instagram, I wouldn't be speaking for free. But I do feel like that is, to the best of my knowledge, a strategy I've used. Again, Carol's really good at this stuff as well. If you have anything to add to that, feel free, but that's kind of the way I've done things.
Yeah, I'm getting a little lazy with hashtags because
They're not as
I don't
valuable.
think they're as valuable as they were.
They are. Yeah.
He's much more careful.
Yeah. Well, try to. Okay, cool. So if you're really lazy about hashtags and you want to just get like a whole bunch because you don't even know where to start, this could be helpful. Allhashtag.com or all hashtag. I can type in something like Canada travel, and it's going to populate all of this travel, this things related to Canada travel. Sometimes this can be like an epic fail because you can see it's like Canada travel, okay, Greater Montreal, that kind of stuff. If you're not talking about Montreal, it's not going to be great for you. You can also get like random Canada travel hashtags. Canada's photography is going to be useful. Why Canada's probably going to be useful. Photo of the day, nature lover, Canada's wonderland is probably going to be useful. Actually, no, because that's going to be Canada's wonderland. But our basic plan is probably going to be useful. But if you're in Halifax, out west is probably going to be useless for you, right? So if you don't even know where to start, go to all hashtag, type in something, take those hashtags, and then pare it down to what makes sense. That leaves you with 12. Add in 3 more that are relevant to you, your podcast name, whatever it is. Go from there. It's just a hack, I guess, for if you're like, if you're that person who's typing in like travel, fun, happy, blah, like, it's going to give you some other ideas to investigate. Okay, Instagram best practice. I would say if you're a podcaster, what's going to be super valuable for you is the DMs. Having a place that people can reach out to you, especially for the younger audience. People don't want to sit down, find your email, and email you. But they might shoot you a quick message and be like, oh, I love that comment that you made on whatever, and you can just Instagram, like you can just hit them right back. That's super valuable. You're making yourself available for the podcasting world. That is hugely valuable. People understand Instagram on a basic level. Just be careful if you don't have a relationship with them before. A lot of those DMs are going to go into your whatever the other inbox that you have to click over and like approve them because so many people send you creepy stuff on Instagram nowadays. So like I'll often, if you go, I forget exactly what it is, but like you go to your messages and then at the top it's like 4 messages, whatever, you click there, you go over to the right, and like 3 of them will be like, hey honey, like kisses, and then 1 will be like, hey, I have a question about this, and you're like, oh, happy to check this. But Instagram's a creepy place as well, so be careful with those DMs. But you hope it's your readers and not creeps. Mixing up people and places, use Instagram stories. Instagram stories are so low risk and potentially high reward. It's only going to last 24 hours. Honestly, if you look at my feed, if you decide to go to travelingmitch.com or travelingmitch on Instagram, whatever, you'll see it's a pretty varied feed, but I'm always shooting, for the most part, professional photography. But my stories is where I'm like a little bit silly and having a little bit of fun with it. If you really like Instagram stories, I'd recommend checking out the app Unfold. You have to pay for certain stuff, but it's how you make things pretty. Literally, I went and had lunch with this dude, and I posted, it was like a picture of like soup, which is not too beautiful, but I used, you can see here, I used something, I like split it up in the middle. I used, you have to pay for some of them, but like this one's called like ripped or something like that. It just makes it look a little prettier. I just showcase, the reason I love it is because I can showcase a number of things at once. So if I go to a site with a tourism board, I can showcase 3 different aspects of that site in one story. And I think that's really valuable because people, again, have attention span of smaller than goldfish. So you may as well pick them up with 3 images in 15 seconds or whatever it is, you know. It makes sense.
Sorry, what's the app called again?
Unfold, UNFOLD. That's a valuable app. You'll be able to get the starter kit easily. We'll be able to split stuff up, and you can purchase each set for like $1.50. but it's good because all of a sudden you're showcasing 3 times the content, which can be valuable. All right, any questions about Instagram? Yeah.
Think about like the safety of like your username and password and tapping into those kind of third-party apps.
Yeah.
Have you ever been hacked?
It kind of depends on the app, right? I've never been hacked. I use a program called LastPass to store all to generate like bizarre sequences of passwords, which are all stored behind like encryption. And so if I ever feel that security shift, I literally just go generate a new password, type it back in on Instagram, whatever. I think that's more of a cautionary tale about apps than anything. If you have, I would always reach out to somebody. I mean, reach out to somebody and message them like, hey, have you used this app? And if they've used it to success, you're probably okay. But be wary. If it has no ratings on, and it's like, we're gonna change your life, like, be a little careful, right? Yeah.
I have a question. Is there any way to tell what hashtags are trending in your field?
Yeah, but I can't remember. There is for sure, but I don't remember exactly why I know that or what it is. I bet you if you type in trending hashtags on Google, you'll be brought to a sweet site that'll be like, hey, let me do all this for you. Yeah. Yeah.
For live stream Instagram, would you recommend Instagram TV or just regular story?
I just utilize live because I understand that well. I don't know what you would say. I don't know anybody in my space, which is literally like using Instagram to showcase what you're doing, who uses IGTV well. So I don't know what that says about the platform. But my guess is if you could use it well, someone I know would have done it already. But that's, I don't know. Do you know anyone who's using it well? No.
I don't even know.
IGTV. So like Instagram TV, like they're trying to, basically what they're trying to do is keep you on Instagram for as long as possible. So they're creating longer segments so you'll stay on there. I don't know, with the amount of content that's like Netflix, etc., that's like, I don't know, you can sit down and lie back and watch for 22 minutes. I don't know why I sit there for 8 minutes and watch somebody do that. That's just me. So the answer is, I focus on Instagram Live because it still has, I think that has actual value. It's also fun and vulnerable. Like the beautiful thing about Instagram Live is it's hyper vulnerable, right? People are interested in it because you could say something that would make you blush, you know? And that's kind of the value. That people want to see you in all your glory and all your mistakes and whatever, but IGTV is a little more curated than that, or can be more curated than that. Yeah.
What about for like a podcast and wanting to post your audio content on there, picture or video?
So I wouldn't worry about audio on Instagram just because the whole thing is visual, but you can certainly go live on Instagram while you're recording your podcast. People can see you doing that. Or you can do that on Facebook and share the video on your Facebook page. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, something I've noticed is when you start a new account, you start getting these like latent bot kind of accounts where they get like 3 posts.
Yeah.
Do you respond to these kind of accounts? Do you treat them as like organic followers? How do you?
No, not at all. Because those accounts, they're so obvious too, right? It's like LBT8805 follows you. They have 3 followers. That account's gonna get you. Those are accounts which are like Instagram farming companies, you know, are selling followers, which are, everyone's realized now is a disaster because you're seeing people, at least people who are thinking about working with, looking at engagement, right? Like if I have 80,000 followers and all of them are some ridiculous combination of letters and numbers, you know, it's like, who wants to see, like, I know companies and brands and sponsorship, they want to look through your comments and click on people that exist, right? Not people like, oh, great feed, I love this, and you click it, it's like, you know, it's like this like LL8884 who's following a whole bunch of LL885s, you know, and it's useless. Yeah.
Is that, okay, so is it 10,000 followers you need to like swipe up to?
Yeah, I wouldn't stress that.
Is there any way, so if you want to like share your latest podcast episode, is there any better way than link in bio to do it? With Instagram?
You can be creative with that, right? Like, you can say, like, before I had 10,000, I think I had things, I was literally just like putting things across, like, go to travelingniche.com, like, check this out or whatever. once I was so pumped up when I got to 10,000, I was like, yeah, I can put links in my bio. Like, how many people on Instagram are swiping up as opposed to just swiping over for another 40 and then not remembering most of them? You know, like, I think the swipe up thing, I was really pumped up about it. A good swipe up thing gets me like 8 extra eyes on a post, which is like so negligible. I don't know, it's also like, if you're talking about Instagram generally, Instagram's like so freaking hard to grow on nowadays. Everybody here knows that I'm using all these tactics and doing all this kind of stuff to basically like maintain and like slightly grow, but I think the days of Instagram being something where you're going to grow massively, they're totally done. I have friends who are like full-time influencers, who have 60,000 people, and I'm just watching their accounts slowly dwindle, and then I'm watching some people whose accounts are magically rising. It's not magic, you know, paying this, that, and the other. So I think you'll do well if you can get a high engagement, real following, and maintain it. That would be a goal. It's changed. Instagram's changed.
I'm thinking about you find a niche where you can generate controversy, and that will, you know, back and forth. Because even in this class, in this room here, everybody has to do certain things to agree. Okay, let's try and help each other. You find a way to generate controversy one side against the other, and you try to.
Yeah, I mean, those conversations don't really happen on Instagram as much as like Facebook and Twitter are. Facebook, I would rather personally post something on my Facebook page that's going to get controversy and comments because it's harder to grow or it's harder to get organic. Like on Facebook, if you can get stir up a lot of comments and get people sharing and stuff like that, you're going to see massive success. Whereas on Instagram, the algorithm is just not going to respect that controversy that much. You're not going to get that many more eyes on it. Facebook, you need that more. Those comments are going to help you a lot more on Facebook. Twitter, not so much, but Facebook for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you getting those analytics that tell you how your hashtags are?
So a lot of those analytics come with a business account, which comes with 10,000.
Oh.
Yeah. But you can use third-party analytics. There's a lot of them. I think most.
They charge less.
What?
They charge a lot less to get some.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm not sure. But yeah. Good question.
Insights.
Insights is where you're getting,
And that's for less than 10,000.
Oh, is it?
I think it just depends how you set up your profile.
Okay. Yeah, give it a try then. I'm not sure.
Something like there's a button that's like insights. And
Yeah, that would last.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So is there any other questions? Are we good to go?
No.
Good. Okay. Solid. All right. So using a Facebook page. So you'll know that Facebook and Instagram are slowly going that way. They're just not letting it. It's a pay-to-play model for the most part. I'm going to talk about. We can talk at the end if you want to talk about how to use it well with the paid model. But for the sake of, I just figured it was better to me to just talk about how I would use it without worrying about money first, because there are some ways you can still get some. Okay, what's happened to Facebook pages? Engagement dropped 50%. Pages are posting more and more, but the results aren't following. And Zuckerberg loves money, and he wants you to pay to play. But there's hope. A little bit. Okay, the main thing to remember with Facebook is Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook. So you want to be posting content that has people staying on the platform. The mistake you can make is by constantly posting. For example, if all I did was post content from my website, I'm constantly I'm delivering a message to Facebook that says, I'm just using you to get people onto my site. So you want to switch things up a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But just remember, Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook. Anytime you're posting content on your Facebook page that's keeping people on Facebook, there's an algorithm that says, let's give them some eyes because they keep people on Facebook. And what do they want? They want to keep people on Facebook. Just remember that. If you're somebody who's like, I don't understand my Facebook page isn't working, think about it. Are you posting content every single time that's bringing people off of Facebook? Because if you are, Facebook knows that. All right. So this is what I want to post every single time. And this is content that's bringing people to my website, obviously. I want to post Canada's southernmost inhabited populated island is unequivocally Canada's best secrets about interesting history, stunning views, and wine. Enough said. Thanks to Tourism Wizards, Tweppy for Tourism Wizards, Alex for helping me to find this fantastic place. So this did pretty well. I had 15,000 people reached. I had, I think, 700 likes or comments or whatever. I had over 600 shares, over 1,000 people engaging with it. This is what I want to post every single time, but I can't post that every single time and get that sort of results unless I post this kind of stuff, which keeps people on Facebook. So, I mean, honestly, do I really care if people want to go to Europe or Asia more? Or, I mean, I can pretend to care and I can get involved with the conversation, but I use this mostly as a tool. People love giving their opinion. So give them a platform to do that. Again, I know this is more related to my stuff, but you can find polls on the podcast, even on a post and say, we're really torn about which topic to attack next. Which one would you want to hear more about? Then you're getting engagement for the next time that when you actually release it. You're like, hey guys, you talked, we listened, we knew you wanted to hear about X, we're producing it for you. Meanwhile, it was all just, about getting more eyes on your stuff. So, which content would you like to shop right now? I'm excited to see the results. It didn't get a massive amount of engagement, but, enough. And it was keeping people on Facebook. If you're like me, you never remember which plugs operate where. Today, I'd like to kindly solve that problem for you. So, again, 142 people picked it, 50 people engaged, 1,500 people are reached with that. It doesn't do that much for me, but it does keep people on Facebook because I have that image on Facebook. So people are sharing that, people are saving it from Facebook, it's keeping people on Facebook. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Yeah?
I'm just thinking about when you post something on Instagram and you select it to get shared to Facebook, does that count as the same sort of thing, or is it technically?
Yeah, I don't do that. I post them separately.
Yeah.
I'm just not confident that you're getting the same level of, I'm not confident you're getting the same amount of eyes of it, and it doesn't take me that much time to do it otherwise. I always post separately. Yeah, that's just me though. I'm not sure. Probably not that much of a difference, but why not?
Why do you have hashtags then?
For those, because Facebook can respond to hashtags. Yeah. But I use very broad hashtags for Facebook. I honestly, you'll see that when I use hashtags that I do a lot of A/B testing with that kind of stuff. This one had hashtags and reached 540 people. This one didn't and reached 1,500. So who knows? I'm just trying to get in the Zuckerberg head a little bit to figure it out.
But the information you were giving on Instagram about hashtags, does that generally apply also on Facebook?
No, it's just for Instagram. You got it. There's different platforms, different rules. Because hashtags aren't that prevalent on Facebook. And I was just using them to see if there's any effect. I think it can be useful. The thing is, this doesn't hurt me. So I tried it every once in a while. Okay. But I would never post something on Facebook and use 30 hashtags ever. I was the maximum amount of hashtags I use on Facebook just to not piss people off would be 5.
So Twitter?
Twitter, yeah, you use, I would think it was the same as Facebook. Use a couple of hashtags which are relevant. Hashtags are actually still very effective on Twitter. It's the only platform I've seen where the hashtags are still really effective because they haven't screwed with the algorithm. The algorithm is based on recency. So when you're using a hashtag for the Super Bowl, you go Super Bowl 31, you're not really being privileged. The way you're showing up on the feed that has more to do with timing than prestige. Yeah. Yeah. This? Yeah. I didn't, but actually I might. I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
And it should boost everything for boost and it has.
It's saying it wants me to boost every post, but I don't.
It says it's not available.
Yeah, you can't boost polls. Yeah, you can't boost polls. That's why. And it's always saying to boost. If anyone has a business Facebook page of a certain amount, you get it's every 30 seconds it's hey, 15,000 people really missed you. I posted this morning. What do you want me to do? But of course they want to keep you on there. They want you to live on there, move in and talk. So yeah.
So when you have a post like that, for example, and I saw it and I want to post it on mine.
Yeah, you just share it. Probably my page.
Everything can be shared.
Yeah, your page is public. Half the time I share. If I'm going to post my a blog post or whatever, I just share it from my page on my personal Facebook because everybody knows that's my brand anyways. It just gives me extra reach, and nobody has a problem clicking from. I mentioned the post to Chris. No one's confused about what that is at this point. So you can share it on your personal page and then have people. And then, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second.
How about sharing it from your website? Like, you have that embedded on your website, and then sharing it from your website. That way, you're still letting people confess.
You mean like sharing it from your website with a sidebar? Like, what do you mean? Like, you mean sharing it onto your website, embedding it onto your website? I don't usually mess with that, to be honest with you, because I think they like
because that way they can go to Facebook, right? They can directly
Yeah.
to the website and they share.
I just keep my, if you go to my website at some point, you'll see, you can just see, I have my handles there, you can go to any of my social media from there. I keep it pretty, I want people to come to my website for travel content, and I figure that if my content's good enough on my website, people are gonna follow what I'm doing outside of my website. So I don't necessarily, I don't worry so much, like, if I was a reader, I wouldn't want to go to a website and see a Facebook post, personally. You know, I go to Facebook.
I'm saying like the video, right? You could still have a.
Oh, yeah.
Video embedded.
Yeah, you can do it for video. But then you can use it YouTube as well. And that's gonna be more valuable. I like focus on writing and SEO and stuff and then get into video. I might try to get into video, but if I had video, I'd apply different strategies. So, yeah, I'm not trying to really answer your question that well. If you have video, give it a try. If you're only posting content that takes people off of Facebook, what can you do? Add polls which are related to your brand and require some engagement. Which of these destinations will be more popular in 2019? Answer why in the comments. I also run a lot of stuff with like sponsored content. Like I work with the ROM, and you can't actually say unsponsored content on Facebook, like comment below with why. You know what it is actually, you can't. There's some stipulation, I'll have to get back to you, send me an email. But for the ROM, I literally just put like, hey, I have 5 passes to the ROM to hand out. Tag somebody tag the person you want to take with you in the comments and say why you want to take them. And that way, I had 80 people tag 80 other people, and then a strategy you can do is anybody who likes that post or likes that piece of content, you can pull that list up and invite them to your page. So if you have posts that go viral and you get 200 likes, you can click on those likes and 80 of them might like your page already, but 120 don't. And since they're already familiar with you, just invite all 120 of them and see. 30 of them might come, even if they leave, it doesn't hurt you. Share images with an excerpt of an article. Sometimes I'll share the best picture I have in that article, take the best paragraph I have, then put the link to the article there. So that Facebook still sees me as trying to keep people on Facebook. Post content that's related to your brand, but not from you. Sometimes I give a shout out to people who I'm friends with in the industry. Based on the fact that I founded the Toronto Blogger Collective, I firmly believe in supporting everybody as best we can. Sharing is definitely going to be caring. Because the thing is, when you open up that door and you're giving that kind of information, it always comes back to you in good ways. I just wrote a book called The Go-Giver. It's like the play on the go-getter, and it's about like the fact that if you just give and give and give and share and share and share and you're a resource for everybody, it'll always come back to you. That's a side note. Okay, share news, photos, and moments. Make your page somewhat relevant. Again, this is like, I don't know how applicable how much you want to take of this for your podcast, but this is definitely, a bunch of this that's going to be applicable to how you want to interact with people, and some stuff that's going to be useful enough for a Facebook page. Tips for growing your page. The current magic numbers for engagement, as far as all the research I've done, is 1 time per day or 5 times a day. I don't post that. I post like 4 or 5 times a week. I think it depends more on the content than the schedule, but I know most brands are posting at least once per day, and some brands are posting 5 times per day. But anything in between doesn't seem to get the same level of engagement because Facebook doesn't know how committed you are. Yeah.
Just on this point, sometimes people are doing these 9-panel images. I'm not going to ask a stupid question whether that's 1 or 9, but how many, is that useful? Is that the point to this?
You're talking about when you have 9 photos in one post?
Yeah, and when you look at it, it's like a panel and step back and it's a big picture.
Oh.
Like a Rubik's Cube sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, definitely one post. I've seen that more on Instagram than Facebook. But I don't know. I honestly don't. I haven't seen that personally. That's if you have 9 photos that's in one post, that's going to be one post regardless. Honestly, oftentimes when I'm working with the tourism board, I was in Tempe, Arizona last week. And I just share 4 or 5 photos and I'm like, hey, this is great, I really enjoyed it. And I don't oversimplify, I don't overcomplicate, just do that. That's still one post, but 4 photos is a better idea what I'm doing. As I said, invite anybody who likes your content to your page. That's a huge underutilized one. If people are liking your content, that means they're already giving you like a hey, I like your stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's like you have a party in the background, someone's like, hey, I like your music. And you're like, that's good, close the door. You know what I mean? You may as well invite them in. No problem with it, yeah.
You schedule them, you schedule it.
I don't, but if you're gonna post 5 times a day, you should. I don't, just because I don't like to post anything. I post a lot on just timing. Something comes out in a magazine that I wrote for, and I just share it that day. I could probably use it better, to be honest with you. I don't, but you can. I know a lot of people, most of the people I know who in my field are definitely
What percentage of your own posts in comparison to other people posting posts?
My own content, I probably post 75% of the time, but a lot of other stuff is like polls and things like that that are related to me, but not my content necessarily.
So 75.
The thing is, like, as I said, you want to just make sure you're not taking people off of Facebook too much. So that's the thing. How are you going to keep people on Facebook and still get your traffic? Figure that out, play with it. Yeah.
So, Facebook can host your website for free, right? So if you have like one page like that where you use that back and forth, does it work?
Don't host your website.
Like, no, I'm talking, you host on Facebook, also what, that's a way to get engagement maybe later on driving someplace else.
That's too clear what that is. I'm not sure. Can you explain a little bit?
Okay. You're saying we're taking people off Facebook.
Yeah.
They just looked up on incorrectly. Like if you have a bunch of pages, it actually drives them to that page you host on Facebook. And I use that sometimes to take them off and maybe contact them directly outside of Facebook.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. It's iffy. Once you get onto your own website stuff, you're dealing with a lot of like GDPR stuff around compliant or GDPR compliant. I don't know if guys how much you know this stuff in the back end. Like anybody who's leaving comments and stuff like that, I have to have a bar on my website that says like my website automatically stores some of your information. That's why all of a sudden 3 months ago I'm going to start clicking OK on a million websites. So I would be very careful. I know it's legit to invite people to like your stuff. If they like your content on Facebook, I don't know anything else about it.
Because what I'm just saying, because as I generate likes of people,
yeah,
and you can kind of tell, right? That person thinks it's creepy, or that person likes you, or so forth. You say, you know what? I'm going here and here. What do you think? Or whatever. So you find excuses to get them more close, and you rip them off there, and then you're my friend, so like, come here.
Yeah. I'd be careful. I'd be careful. I would stick to the extent of that. I would do. I have a opt-in page. People want to be on my email. I personally, I leave everything up to the person who comes to my site. I very rarely reach out to anybody to do anything. The most I do is that people like me on my Facebook page. That's the most I do. Recycle posts that have worked. You can use a post that did really well 6 months ago and put it 6 months later. Nobody remembers. But it'll get the same response because it's just a human, innate thing. I can put up a poll that was very similar if I know it works. Take note of that and be like, hey, people love that poll. I can easily put up a post 2 weeks from now that's like, hey, where are we going? Antarctica or South America, whatever, you know what I mean? Okay, questions on Facebook, we kind of talked. I kind of answered questions throughout, so I got a little bit more to do. It's also like getting close to 5. If you want to leave, you can. If not, I can go through the rest of this with you guys, but it's up to you. I'm not offended if you're gonna go. But I was gonna touch on Twitter and a few other things, but it's not gonna be crazy long, it's been actually 15 minutes.
Are you going to post this online?
I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest with you. But I don't really mind either way. It's being videotaped as well, so sorry, everybody's not gonna like me very much. Okay. Actually, do we have any other questions on Facebook? We're good? You can also email me, you guys. I gotta you just gotta like all my stuff first. I'll check. Yeah.
Do you know if there's any kind of workaround to getting more than the maximum 5 Instagram accounts per
Yeah, I have friends with like 20 Instagram accounts. You just gotta use different emails and you gotta use 2 phones.
Yeah, so there's no way to.
I have a friend who's got, he's always rolling with like 4 phones.
You can get phone numbers. You can get phone numbers for like $5.
Yeah, you can do it. I have a friend who has like 16 accounts, and he's.
Why would you want that?
Because he started when Instagram was booming, and he was like kind of thought of it as investments. So he got all of these usernames, which are like awesome, you know, like discover the world and like, you know, come travel with me and all this stuff, and then just started running them all with his photography. And he's got like 4 that over. He's got 2 that are over $1 million and 2 that are over. He's making high 6 figures off of those. What's his name? Kyrenian is his name on Instagram. But he works for it. He's a great photographer. But he just traveled the world permanently, just running 13 Instagram accounts. So I was always like, "Why the hell do you have bulging pockets?" I was like, "Whoa." Sweet, man. Yeah. So that's a workaround. Yeah. All right, look at Twitter. So I'm biased here. I know like people kind of like give Twitter crap. I like Twitter. I feel like it's still honest and real. It hasn't been corrupted in the same way that some other platforms have. I still enjoy going on Twitter and engaging with people. I still have a lot of real people who reach out to me all the time. A lot of the comments I get on Instagram are like, "Wow, I love your photos," you know, but like a lot of the comments I get on Twitter are like, "I really enjoyed reading that article, so I shared it." I'm like, "Oh wow, thanks, I appreciate that." There's still a little like sentimentality and realness in Twitter. I'm not huge on Twitter by any means, but I enjoy Twitter. And I think you don't have to. The good thing about Twitter is the success you have on Twitter is not contingent at all on your followers, because you can use hashtags well. If you have 212 followers on your podcast and you put together something that's awesome, it could get retweeted 150 times. You could not do that on Facebook. You could not do that on Instagram. Right?
You use travel Mitch.
I'm traveling Mitch on everything. Yeah. Are you following me now?
Just
Sweet. Oh, you're tweeting it. See, she's gonna tweet that. Yeah, if you want to do that. Tag me in anything, putting it retweeted. Just saying. Okay, so the truth is no social media platform has fallen more than Twitter, but it doesn't mean it's less valuable. Twitter establishes brand recognition and agency. As with Facebook, you need to do more than just post your own content. I should probably stop talking about it. You can read that. All right, scheduling tweets. So with Twitter, Buffer, or Hootsuite, or something similar, going to be your best friends. You can use Hootsuite to schedule up to 30 tweets per week for free. And at the beginning, you probably don't need more than that. So Buffer says 3 tweets a day is the most you should share before engagement starts to drop off. Constant Contact recommends a minimum of 5 tweets per day, while suggesting there's no maximum. And Dow Social suggests tweeting a minimum of 6 tweets per day and do it daily. I probably post 100, 150 tweets a week. A lot of that's scheduled, and a lot of that's in response to, so like for in travel, for example, there's Follow Friday. Every Friday I tag a whole bunch of users in the industry. That blows up every single time. We all follow each other. It works out well. I fed up all the hashtags in my industry. So there's Wanderlust Wednesday, Travel Tuesday, whatever. I have one scheduled every single time. I literally have the same tweet on repeat, which you probably shouldn't do, but whatever. And it's like, hey, what city or country is calling your name right now? Hashtag Wanderlust Wednesday. Every single time it's retweeted like 13 times and liked 20 times, and you know it goes out at noon every Wednesday. It doesn't take any time for me. Then I go back and respond, and I'm like, oh, like Algeria, I've been there. Check out this post. Or someone's like, oh, I really gotta go to Morocco, and I'm like, funny you should say that. I wrote a post on Marrakesh. You know, or someone's like, Istanbul, and I'm like, I lived there for 3 years. Let's talk more. Oh, you like my website? Are you gonna subscribe? Oh, you want my ebook? Hey. It's all this kind of stuff. Just it's these little seeds where people realize that you're something more than just like you're actually engaging and trying to offer value, right? Because there's so many people that are offering nothing. So if you can actually offer them something and be like, yeah. Sure, I still love Twitter. That's my thing.
You see, as with Facebook, you need to do more than just post your content.
Yeah. So you shouldn't just be posting your own content a ton of times per day. I would target 10 to 15 accounts in your industry and start retweeting their stuff, because that's how they'll notice you. The truth is that if you're posting their content, you're not tagging them, they're not going to notice, right? But the moment that you start tagging them or retweeting their stuff and being like, hey, this might be really useful, I'd say 25, 30% of my tweets are other people in the industry who I like, who I want to become like a little bit more endearing to, so that when I see them at conferences, it's like, oh, Chris, Charlie Rich, he shares my stuff. That's a real thing.
And then
So
you actually take a picture together.
I'm going to start sharing Water and Carol stuff now. Add that to the list. What were we saying?
I think you can take a picture together and post it to convey that you're not just posting other stuff. You have to have some actual working relationship, whatever.
The thing is that on Twitter, like, you can just play around. You know, it's the best place to do A/B testing because the stakes are so low. Your tweet, the average lifespan of a tweet, I don't even know if I have something on this slide. I usually have a whole bunch more info that I'm working with companies to do breakouts and stuff. The average lifespan of a tweet is like, I want to say 2.5 minutes. So it's pretty low stakes, right? Like, it's only if your tweet is successful that is the likelihood. Like, what I'm saying is the average tweet comes out into the Twitter sphere and then dies in 2 minutes. Nobody really sees it because it's buried in other tweets or whatever happens. But sometimes you're lucky, but it doesn't matter. Post 10, Twitter's 3, you know, you're batting 700, you're still a good player.
Maybe you'll get this later, in which case, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what are your feelings about advertising on Twitter?
I don't know. I don't advertise on anything. The only thing I put money towards are really carefully boosted posts on Facebook, because I can reach my target audience perfectly. You know, sometimes I have content which is just for people in Ontario, and for some reason, like 55-year-old, 45 to 55-year-old like cottagers love certain content that allows people to explore certain areas, and that's just going to be like, it's going to cost me something. But the thing is, if you're using Facebook for that function, the people that are going to be interested in your stuff are going to be like really quite engaged with your content. There's a good chance they could go to your website and be like, I love everything you do. And then they're going to follow you. Like, I think right now it's more about getting loyal followers and loyal eyes that are actually, like, I don't think numbers matter anymore as much as I would rather have 15,000 people or 15 people who care.
I'm curious largely because in the podcast context, I broadly don't really care.
Yeah.
Follow me on Facebook.
Yeah, sure.
I want them to click on a link to the podcast on Spotify,
Yeah.
and then I want them to follow that on Spotify. So broadly, I don't actually care if they follow my account,
Right.
as long as it leads to increase more listeners. So I was curious if there.
You can become, whatever your topic is, you can become somebody who develops expertise. It doesn't have to be with your own content. Just like, honestly, how many newsletters are highly successful just based on curation, intelligent curation, right? So you can do that on your Twitter feed as well, because it's low stakes. And remember, the people you're curating know it on Twitter, right? They just log that in. The thing is, when I first started this stuff, nobody knew who the heck I was. And now I go to conferences and they're like, oh, your name sounds familiar, which is a shockingly powerful thing. You know, when your name sounds familiar, there's a little voice inside their head that's like, trust them. You know? You're like,
I like what you just said about this curation, because it hits on something I'm thinking of. And if you're trying just to lead people to store, let's say you're in a certain industry and you just want to be the curator of certain stories like today.
Yeah.
Is there anything to watch out for if you're sending people to other people's sites? Like there's no.
Everybody, the name of the game is people want.
Yeah.
People want traffic, right?
But if you're using their text and for some reason putting it on something of yours, that's where the issue is, because then it becomes a factor.
I think you would be fine to quote a paragraph and send it in that direction. If you want, like, I would have no problem being in a newsletter and quoting a paragraph of something and being like, you should go and check this out. Like, I couldn't see.
Yeah, you don't post the whole story,
the problem you're going to get into is if you don't credit them. right? So the only thing is just make sure you credit them. Just say, I was reading this, like if you guys know Farnham Street, Shane Parrish, he developed a career literally on a newsletter, which is, I think the tagline is literally like curated content in a world full of noise. He sends me like 5 articles once a week. They're all always great, and he's got a huge following now, and nobody who was selected for that is upset because they're going to get big traffic first. But he just says, I was reading this article on New York Times or whatever, and it was really great. Check it out. I don't think you go as far as giving the author a shout out, but just make sure you give the publication a shout out.
They have curation software actually that has that inbuilt.
Right.
Oh, no, it's software where you could have the content.
You mean for newsletters, etc.?
No, not for newsletter, more so like for website.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But you can use the website RSPs and have that, generate.
Right.
Newsletter. The process to have that automated.
Yeah. I'm not sure that much about that, but I'm sure you're right. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Twitter lists and Twitter moments?
Yeah, let me just see if I have the slide here. I might have taken it as if I was going to be too lengthy. Yeah, here we go. Good time. Again, if anyone needs to leave, that's cool too. I was going to add 8 or 10 more slides in there, but feel free to leave. I won't be offended. Using Hootsuite to sort content, this can be valuable. I'm just using free tools for it. I found this a good way to curate what I was looking at. I didn't know where to look at the beginning. I was like, oh, I really want to engage with people, but I don't want to just go from the top of my feed and type in hashtag travel every time. So I curated 9 separate lists. So at this time I put travel, wanderlust, and tourism. This is helpful because on this platform on Hootsuite I can like and retweet stuff directly from there. So I can scroll through the list and like. Then I go to this list. At that time I was trying to get more of my name in front of conferences. So I had TVEX, Travel Blogger Exchange, and Travel Master. I was trying to become a bigger part of that. So I started my own thing. And then so I would go down that list and interact with people who might be going to the conference. And then when I got to the conference, I'd already liked, 700 things related to TVEX, and it was valuable for me. That can be valuable if you know you're going to a conference. Just make a list for anything related to that conference, and by the time you get there, then you can make sure you're curating what other people are producing. And this was traveling, wine, or something like that, just generic. But you can find that stuff. Creating those on Hootsuite take you 10 minutes, but at a certain point, I have 2 monitors that I use in my office at home. You can just have your second monitor right there and see all 9 streams. In 8 minutes, you can schedule 30 posts, and then you're done, But that's the way that I engage with other people's content, personally. Creating lists on Twitter. So lists can be super useful for organizing and following. This is more with the company that I was doing it in the past, so don't really mind that. But it's just basically new contacts you want to nurture. I remember the first conference that I went to around travel blogging, I just created a list of every single person that I met that I thought might be valuable for my future, and I just basically followed them on Twitter for a couple months, and they were never upset to get a retweet or a like. And when I reached out to them to work with them, they knew my name. Whereas if I didn't create a list and engage with them, they might have been like, who are you again? So that can be valuable. Again, how valuable is your podcast is debatable, but I think in a brand sense, creating lists you might even create a list for the 15 people that really, really care about your podcast that you want to make sure you're engaging with. And you can engage with their content and share it on your platform. That can be valuable. So I created this list when I was in Jerusalem for TVEX from 2017, and it has 52 members. I use it as leverage too. Then I was like, hey, do you want to be a part of my list, by the way? And then people were following people within my list, and then it was in their head, oh wow, Chris is really connected. That stuff's valuable. We did that right now, right? They're like, hey guys, get on my list. I should have done that.
When you just at Jerusalem on the list, do you have a shameless marketing where you get people tagged because you were there?
So I do what I'm doing now, which is hey Carol, you just hit me up on Twitter. Actually, you did that of your own volition. But if I'm presenting there, I'm always going to say, tag me on whatever, because based on my presentation, that I'm going to retweet with you.
That was more invasive than that.
No, I'm pretty I'm really just letting people I worry about putting everything in place so that people fall like a leaf towards me, and then I try to convince them that they should stay near me. I'm really careful about, especially in this climate where there's all this GDPR legislation about the collection of emails and all this kind of stuff. I'm really, really careful about letting people.
Volunteer, you're gonna volunteer.
Well then great, I'm not gonna worry about any of this sketchy stuff then. Like, you know what I mean? I want people to see my content. Like, the thing is, the value of somebody who actually cares about what I'm posting in my content and stays on for a couple months or years and follow my stuff, that doesn't happen through me like scheming them into liking my page. You know what I mean? That's what, like if you're thinking of like ways to trap people onto your stuff, then you gotta be thinking about producing content that's so good that people think, I need this in my life. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, hey, I got a freebie, and then they get there and like, website's garbage, this guy's a joke, you know what I mean? You gotta make it so good. I'm cheesy, I write like quotes on my board, I change it every week. There's a quote that I have on my board this week from Steve Martin. It's like, be so good they can't ignore you. You know what I mean? I think that's a better strategy than, you know, being so crazy to sign up for your stuff. All right, use some basic hashtags, travel, Canada, whatever. Use some timely hashtags, travel Tuesday, one of those Wednesday. Find all the timely stuff related to your stuff. It's really valuable. You can host chats, all that kind of stuff. It should be related to your content. Too much hashtagging can be seen as unprofessional, so use it sparingly. I wouldn't do over 5 hashtags in a tweet ever. How to grow on Twitter? I don't know. I honestly think growth on Twitter doesn't matter as much as other platforms. But if you want, follow some related accounts every once in a while. I have one friend who follows like 100 or 200 accounts per day, and then down the line they sort of unfollow some stuff. I'm really iffy on the follow-unfollow thing, but I think if you're at the beginning, you should be following everybody related to what you're doing. And then make a list of 50 people you want to interact with, and go from there. If you want to go that route, you can go to unfollowerstats.com. You can see people who are not following you back and make decisions based on that. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that route. But if you follow 1,000 people and only 100 people follow you, you should make sure that number is not too great a discrepancy, right? You want to have, typically, I think I have 10,000 followers on Twitter, 7,500 people that I follow. And that's a fine ratio for me. I don't know. I think that 100 to, even equals fine, 100 doesn't matter. If I have 10,000 people and I was following, great. I'm not so worried about that. But just make sure you're not like, you don't have 10,000 and they have, you're not following 10,000 people and you have 1,000 followers, because then it's going to raise some red alarms. People are going to be like, wow, what's this person up to if they're just following so needlessly? Any questions on Twitter? Yeah?
On Twitter, just for what you do, because I missed the beginning, I'm sorry, I have another session.
That's okay.
I want to do both, so I'll
Yeah, no worries.
I'm not familiar with social media that much. How do you monitor, I don't know if you're going to get to it, but how do you do it first? I don't see any advertising or any of the things I've seen so far.
Yeah, my monetizing comes from sponsored campaigns that I do particularly with tourism boards and brands on Instagram. But I'm a little bit iffy about that. If you go to my Instagram feed right now, you'll see legitimately this laptop case sitting on that, and that's sort of the way that I monetize. I'm careful about that. I've seen some friends who've gone over to the dark side in that way, but I'm monetizing Instagram that way. Twitter I don't monetize. I monetize my site, so my goal with social media is to get everybody to my website. So that's my effective monetization.
So what do you do as a service provider to
I'm a travel blogger, travel writer, and a few other things. My website is my...
So tourist boards will...
I work with a lot of tourism boards in Ontario and around the world to produce. So in that case, while I'm there, I'm posting on social media about the activities that I'm doing across all platforms. And then I have culminating posts, which I do for them at the end. That's my contract with them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any thoughts on Twitter moments?
Twitter moments? So Twitter moments are just a good way to follow the news.
You can create them. You can do something that you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you, Twitter moments. I'm like almost done here. Just remember to go live on all the social media platforms. I did a live with a company Tour Radar, that's also stuff I do if we're running on monetizing. I work with companies to, if I believe the company soften the blow a little bit. So in this case, we were talking about Tour Radar. Think about using Canva to create anything that you're producing. It's a really, really easy to use digital marketing gold. I'm done in the next second. We don't have time. You guys have asked me a bunch of stuff. I hope that was